of the Morning Metro. It is July 20th, or no, July 30th. Wow, July 30th, 2021. We, of course, your hosts, Grid21 and Cappy. Say hello, Cappy.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Oh, okay, all right. Cappy's in a, I don't know, like a, well, you're just Cappy. You're just always in a mood of some kind. I don't know.
I'm just me. I'm just me.
Yeah. So,
I'm
but
me.
yeah, Cappy though, how was your week for the people who are listening?
Let's see. Got a migraine yesterday. Tire was flat Monday.
Oof.
When I was coming into work.
Yikes.
But other than that, it was actually pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm eating grapes. I'm sorry.
Not much happened, so I mean, it was a work week, so the work.
Nice. I just got over a week-long stomach virus, which wasn't fun to deal with. So, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
I spent an entire week not streaming, and then I got back to streaming as of the 29th of July, and I was like, do I remember how to stream? Do I know what I'm doing? And I did it, and it was fine. I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. But we've got
What does this button do?
Yeah.
Self-destruct. Oh no.
Nice. We got a couple different things to talk about on the show as usual. I've got a few things to talk about as well, and I guess I don't know. I guess I'll go ahead and throw it off to start. So for anybody that's been watching the Olympics, they're in Tokyo. They are going on right now, but they're in Tokyo. And those trained among you may have noticed that during the opening ceremony, quite a few video game theme songs were actually played. And I have an article from esports.com where it says video games are a huge part of the culture in Japan, and some of them have amazing, sometimes even orchestral tunes. During the opening ceremony of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, we got to hear almost exclusively video game music when the Olympians walked out into the mostly empty stadium. We listed some of our favorites below, followed by the full list. So I'll just read the full list instead. So Tales of Ceres, Sori's theme, The Shepherd, Kingdom Hearts, Olympus, Colosseum, Chrono Trigger, Frog theme, Ace Combat, First Flight, Tales of Ceres, Royal Capital, Majestic Grandeur, Monster Hunter, Wind of Departure, Sonic the Hedgehog, Starlight Zone, which is, I don't know why I didn't recognize that because I've played a few.
That's one of my favorite themes from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I've never actually heard that one. Surprisingly.
Going back.
And just a number of other lists and stuff. I wish I could explain to people listening by audio how do you catch this list. Actually, the funny thing is, you know what's weird? It's not even loading the full URL for this. Oh, that's cool. My article I just had just went back to the main page of esports.com. Awesome. Not really. Well, that's awkward. Well, frick. Okay, Control H, history. I'm looking for it. Cappy, buy time.
Buy time. You got grapes.
You got grapes?
Grapes.
Well, anyway, so yeah, I don't know where this list went. Suddenly it's just disappeared on me for some awesome reason. Thank you. It was under the gaming section, actually, now that I looked at it. But yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool that I didn't, oh, there's the article. Cool. I can put for people that are in chat. That's awesome. I didn't realize that was what was playing during the Olympics, and I think that's pretty cool that they picked some really, pretty cool themes and stuff for, because we used the traditional orchestral music for the Olympics, but I think it's kind of a nice honor just be like, hey, video games, themes for the Olympics and stuff. That's cool. I know that's not going to happen all the time, but that is pretty cool though, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, honestly, it doesn't surprise me that, we would hear like video game or orchestral versions of it.
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, yeah, Japan has a massive esports scene, and
Mm-hmm.
actually has a lot of laws pertaining to video game competitions, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very protective of like gaming and so on and so forth. I mean, you have cafes that you can just go in and play video games for however
Video
long
game
you want, and
cafes. That's
yeah,
cool.
pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I would be down for that.
It was kind of getting there in the United States, but there wasn't like a major market for it in the United States, because I mean,
Yeah, because we're not cool here.
no,
I'm
it's just
joking.
it's basically the United States is all about like traditional cafes, like coffee shops,
Yeah,
food,
yeah,
and
I
so on
know.
and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting to see like the cultural differences that we have
Mm-hmm.
compared to like other countries and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And I apologize if you see me playing with Allen wrench. I'm
Oh, you're
a little
fine.
bit
Nobody
fidgety
cares.
today, so
Oh no, that's fine. We all have our things that we mess with. But yeah, so I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool that that there's this. Now the thing is that it's like, to the people that are video game literate, I guess they would have like noticed that there's these video game themes played. I wonder how people though, like during as far as just the athletes are concerned, I wonder how many of them like recognized some of the themes they're walking and be like, oh, I recognize that, or I played that as a kid. I wonder what that was
yeah,
like to walk in
yeah,
there and to possibly hear
it,
and recognize that.
yeah, it would have been interesting to see their reactions. Like, oh yeah, I know this song. Oh yep, yep.
I haven't heard the song
Yep.
since I was a kid before I got
Yeah.
into Olympics. I got to the wrong. I guess I got into the wrong sport. Oof, Kappa. Kappa is sarcasm for anybody who's listening and doesn't know what Twitch culture is somehow. No joke, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. So yeah, anyway, that was just a little tidbit, little article. I caught it originally about that on Twitter, and then I heard it again, or saw this article again. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll just talk about it, since that's what we talk about on here. I don't know how we bounce back and forth for our articles, because I guess if you want to talk about something, then I'll come back, or do I go through my stuff? I don't know. Whatever you want to do. If you got something,
only
go ahead.
have one article today, but
Do you want to do
mean,
your one? Do you want to do your one article?
well, it's about the one topic we were going to discuss.
Oh,
about,
okay. Well, I guess
yeah.
let's see. How can I nicely segue this? Here, I'm gonna slide this up at the end, and I'll do this. So, kind of staying with music really quick. All right. This is kind of embarrassing because I know what my people in my community know what my obsessions are, and then it's like it's really cool too. So for those in my community, everybody knows that I'm really obsessed with Riot's virtual K-pop group KDA. And this morning, Riot Games Music tweeted out that KDA_music, congratulations to KDA_music on their gold record for PopStars. And basically,
that's really cool.
so basically, a gold record is like saying that it's sold, I think, X amount of copies, and it's I guess crossed a certain threshold. I should look up exactly what a gold means, but because I guess like I found two different articles. One said the real meaning of gold and platinum records, and then there's like one had like a quick definition, so I'm not really sure which one it is, but it's really cool. Like I've really been a heavy like follower of Riot's virtual K-pop group and stuff, and was I woke up this morning and read this and was just like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. So yeah, but it's really fun to see like your fandom get to this, status level. So even if they are, virtual. But actually the funny thing is I was reading a previous article a couple months ago that the idea of virtual artists is not new, because technically speaking, Alvin and the Chipmunks, it was the first original form of a virtual band, because Alvin, of course, isn't real. But there's a history, like a long history of virtual artists that were used for either marketing or just selling some particular type of music and stuff. And you know, KDA is just another example of it, because then you have I think it's Miku Kitsune is another one that's really big in China, I think, and a number of other ones. But go ahead.
And then you also have bands from like the Adult Swim, Deathlock, which is a metal band.
Yeah.
And I think there was one from Japan as well. Blonde, blue hair. I'm drawing a blank.
That was like, it was that Miku Kitsune, I thought.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah. So really, really super cool. So I guess I know KDA isn't real, but congrats to KDA for their gold level record and stuff.
Well, still congrats to the artist who got gold. I mean,
G Idol, Madison Beers, Mian and Soyeon from G Idol specifically, and I'm drawing a blank on all the artists, because KDA is made up of like for a little bit backstory, everybody who's listening. KDA is made up of actual artists from well-known music groups such as G Idol and who's another Korean K-pop, Korean and K-pop in the same sense, K-pop artists and stuff. So it's kind of more of a congrats to them that a collaborative project to help, boost a virtual project got the recognition like that. And I think it's really cool. But the fandom, the tweets below are like, oh my gosh, bring back, KDA, we needed this. Honestly, I would love to see more KDA this year, because it's been a sucky year so far, in my opinion. Yeah. And I really want more KDA right now. And I didn't get enough, so please bring it back. But I thought it was just really super cool. And I got so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, are they going to bring KDA back this year? But no, it's just to celebrate that one thing. So yeah, really, really super cool.
I mean, if we're going to continue with the music theme, recently a very well-known metal artist that goes by the name of Joey Jordison, if you're a fan of Slipknot, he's one of the founding members, sadly passed away, I believe on Monday at the age of 42. He had a lot of medical conditions, and unfortunately,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Rumors are pointing to him succumbing to his medical conditions, unfortunately.
Really
condolences goes out to the Jordison family and Slipknot as well. I mean, he was literally one of the top drummers for the new metal scene, and it just sent wakes in the community and stuff like that. So yeah, condolences to the family and members of the Slipknot.
Sure, definitely,
Slipknot and stuff like that. So
yeah, but anyway, so that's just kind of the bit of the music news stuff that that I came across today, and I'm gushing over just gushing over like, oh my gosh, KDA got a gold record.
No, that's amazing. Like,
that is let's go. Yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm gonna try to move on. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna try to obsess over that. I'm gonna be gushing over it probably after this episode, but yeah. Kind of more League of Legends news, sort of, and this is also kind of like, I think a general talk, maybe I guess we have as a general talk about just balances in games of sorts. So Riot released Action, who's a new character in League of Legends, and he's kind of I don't know if he's a marksman exactly or what he does. He's got like I know he's got a grapple hook actually, which is really cool. He's like the first grapple hook character to he can actually like grab on to parts of the Summoner's Rift and swing himself around like Batman. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And apparently, though, so in the European esports, the LEC, action will actually be disabled, apparently. And this comes out from Peter Schmidt, who said, as per LEC rules, action will be disabled for playoffs. As he's being released on the playoffs patch, we asked all teams if they wanted this change, if they wanted to change action will be available at Worlds, which the vast majority of teams declined, him being enabled, for the game and stuff. And let me try to like scroll down. And so I'm having a small like audio issue in the background. Oh, now that's actually working. Yay. Cool. That's working now. And this comes from, again, esports.com. And apparently one of the esports teams, or one of the grabs from G2 tweeted that action will be enabled for Worlds and Asian regions, but thankfully LEC teams have decided, nah, let's not have him have it in playoffs. Let's hope it won't be as strong at Worlds. And I'm kind of bringing this up a little bit because I feel like them disabling one particular character during the current like playoffs and stuff is not, it's not great in my opinion, because I feel like I'm not really in the esports scene. Like I don't like play League that competitively, but I feel like to have one character disabled that you're only going to ever encounter now, in a deal with at Worlds, which basically, for everybody who doesn't know what Worlds is, it's essentially where like the two best teams in League of Legends from all regions compete for the Worlds Cup to, basically stand as like the best League of Legends team. And I feel like to not have Worlds available, or not have action available until Worlds is kind of silly, because it doesn't really give teams a chance to see how to play around action or how to like really play him. I feel like this is kind of a disadvantage to all the teams, because it's like if action is enabled at Worlds and they haven't a chance to like give him a chance to try or play, unless they have a way of playing him outside of competitive scene, I think this is kind of silly. Like, this is just me, but what do you think about like stuff being disabled or not for competitive integrity or whatever, Cappy?
I'm kind of used to it because, well, many people in the community know that I'm a very avid Magic the Gathering player, so
yeah.
I'm used to like cards being banned as soon as they're released, and like the sudden ban changes, so on and so forth. Like,
yeah.
One of the popular formats that I play is called Commander, where you have a person card that's your basically leader of the deck you have.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, a card that was very problematic in the competitive scene for Commander was just recently banned. And I'm used to like things being banned or disabled.
Okay.
I can understand like when like a certain card is banned in any format, it's problematic. I could see the reason why, this specific hero, or whatever you want to call it, champion, is banned as well. I mean, from what I understand is that from your description of the character is probably because of the movement being too fast.
That, and also I think, well, he can also like one of his abilities is that I think if an ally of his is killed, if he kills the person that killed his ally, that champion gets rezzed instantly. That's one of his abilities, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So I guess for some of the go on.
Yeah, I could definitely see how that would be problematic, especially if it's a new feature and stuff like that, and it hasn't been thoroughly play tested.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, it's not that it hasn't been thoroughly play tested. It's just that like they haven't like Well, the excuse is that supposedly, I guess, his he was considered, I guess, too strong, even though his win rate on League is like not that high, and they gave him like 2 buffs since his release. But I guess they still feel like he's still too strong of a character to throw into the mix of the current like meta for champions that are already out and stuff. So that's kind of some of the reasoning behind it, I guess. There's probably more reasoning that I don't quite understand. It may not be fully in this article, but I just looked at it and was just like, okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, prime example was back in I want to say it was the Open tournament back in 2019 before the pandemic hit. There was this one card from core set 2019 named Golos Tireless Pilgrim. Pretty much what it did is you can exile the top 3 cards of your library and you can play any of those cards as long as it meets the timing requisites. Well, the problem is that there was this one specific card that basically would combo off with him, and it pretty much took up 97 or like 67% of the competition field. And everyone was just playing it, and they introduced an emergency ban before this major tournament happened. And a lot of people were like, why all of a sudden, these 2 cards being banned or restricted and stuff like that. So I can see why it was banned, because more than likely that would have been like the #1 used champion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really all about the meta. Like when it comes to competitive Magic the Gathering or, any esports.
Yeah.
It's all about the meta and figuring out how to counter the meta, how to make sure that someone has the meta, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. Yeah, anyway, that was just something that I caught that I was just like, oh man, like that's interesting. I don't know if this is the only time that a champion has been banned in pro scene for like after release or not, but I know Riot's released some like they released some good champions, they released some good, some bad ones. Action I've still yet to play because I don't have Blue Essence actually to get them in the League client. That's kind of annoying, but whatever, I'll get them eventually.
I mean, like example, like just recently, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms and Magic the Gathering just released the crossover set for Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. They automatically banned 1 card from this set for when rotation hits, I believe in September, to about 2 months away now.
So are they gonna allow that back into rotation? Like so if a card is banned, how do they like reintegrate it into the game to be part of the meta? Is there like a season, a rotation? How does that work exactly?
Yeah, it's like a rotation. So let's say, for example, this rotation, the following sets are going to be removed. You have Throne of Eldraine, which is like a storybook version, like a storybook.
Okay.
Or, like Disney classic stories like Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, so on and so forth. Then you have Ikoria, which is all about big monsters, create your own monsters, so on and so forth.
Okay.
And then you have Theros Beyond Death, which is Greek gods and so on and so forth, or and stuff like that. Those sets are being rotated out. The sets that are actually being in this set is Adventures in Forgotten Realms, Core Set 2021 is being rotated out.
Okay.
You have Zendikar Rising. Zendikar
Rising tries to cite everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the sets, and I'm a huge Magic the Gathering player.
Lol.
It's so hard to keep up.
Right.
Strixhaven, which is basically a Harry Potter set. Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, which is the D&D set, and then Innistrad, which is Werewolves and Vampires, which is the next set that's coming out when rotation hits. And then you have the next 4 sets that are coming out, not including ancillary sets like Modern Horizons, Time Spiral Remastered, so on and so forth.
Nice.
And when a card is banned, it's usually like just specifically for standard. Because standard is more of like, okay, these cards are going to be problematic in standard, but modern, Pioneer, Commander, usually these aren't problems because those are eternal formats, which include like every single Magic the Gathering set. So
yeah.
It's hard to keep up, I know.
Yeah, it makes my head spin a little bit. So
yeah.
But anyway, you know, but I hope at some point, you know, when Worlds does, you know, happen, I hope the teams will know what they're doing with, because one of the things that the first thing came to my mind is like, okay, so let's just say that you have like an LPL, an LCK team, or even like an LEC team go up against like any one of the other regions, and they haven't had a chance to really, nobody's had a chance to play with Action, and then suddenly he gets pulled out for the draft for the pick, and then like the entire game just tilts. Like I think it's like a best of 5 at Worlds for stuff. So like he could go in maybe like 1 or 2 rounds, or he might go in and get banned or whatever. But I just felt kind of, so like where do you go in to like practice how that champion works? Like, do they have, because I know that like esports players are lucky. They get special versions of the League client that us consumers don't get to have, and I'm really jealous about that because apparently the esports version is more stable actually. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. It's just speculation. I hope they get to have a chance to play with it and know how he works. If not, well, have fun at Worlds, and you know, may the best team win, I suppose. Dom 1, Cloud9. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, that was just a little bit of stuff I just wanted to cover that I just thought was interesting. I'm still trying to learn how to like grab esports news exactly, so that's something that I'm trying to like. This is my first attempt at trying it, so I'm sorry if it was a little bit boring. It's something I was gonna ask Cappy about, like, hey, do you want to cover some esports news? He's like, yeah, totally. And I'm like, cool. Where do I find the best esports news to talk about and stuff? So
yeah.
that's gonna take some good fishing around and you know, a little bit of practice for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I'm moving on to technology here a little bit. We might circle back around something depending on how our time looks for the show. Oh gosh, I want to talk about this camera first, or do I want to talk about the, you know what, I've been taking like most of the reins for this show. I'm going to hand this to Cappy, because the last thing's kind of like me like nerding out over something, but I'll give this to Cappy. So Cappy, you have an article, and I did see this video, and we're going to talk about this. So set us up.
Okay, so the article we're going to be talking about is recently the California Electric Commission or Coalition, I'm not exactly sure what exactly California's regulations are. Jay's 2 Cents recently did a video about this. Apparently Reddit is being, well, Reddit and, you know, freaking
hot
out
mess,
over
dumpster fire,
a hot mess and stuff like that. So recently, the California Electric Coalition or Commission announced that, are gaming computers being banned?
Question
No.
mark. Clickbait.
Yeah. Pretty much all the articles are being clickbait. What exactly this means is that they're specifically computers are being targeted for how efficient they are in sleep mode, hibernation, so on and so forth. I'm going to touch on this lightly because I'm not exactly 100% sure what California is trying to do, or the West Coast Coalition, Oregon, Hawaii, yeah, so on and so forth. Pretty much what they're trying to do is they're trying to specifically target energy efficiency when a computer's asleep or not being used or inactivity.
Okay.
So pretty much what this means is that if your computer is asleep or being inactive, it must reach a certain power consumption. To the general user, usually when you buy a computer, it automatically meets these requirements. However, Dell, Asus, Acer, so on and so forth, a lot of their desktop computers don't meet these requirements. Now, this is only specifically targeting pre-built computers and thin clients like the Intel NUC and other small form factor computers. But pretty much it basically is restricting on what can be sold in specific states, not like statewide or United States wide or over in European countries and stuff like that. So let me cover what exactly is being targeted. You have desktop computers, or according to how it is worded in California's documents, is computers that are designed not to be movable, which is like desktop-based computers, so on and so forth. Laptops and convertibles are also being targeted, and small form factor computers such as the Intel NUC. Now, what is exempt? Power supplies that are 80 plus gold efficiency, PFC 9.0 at 50% load. I'm not exactly sure on what this means. I'll have to do further research and, you know, do an update next episode or whenever we can meet together again. Power management, displays sleep within 15 minutes of inactivity. System sleeps or off within 30 minutes of inactivity. Small scale servers and rack mounted workstations are not required to meet the power management requirements. So pretty much like a server that you have, Grid, or a rack mounted workstations, like, you know, it's mounted to a rack and so on and so forth. They are also allowing allowances for the following: add-in cards, additional hard disks, graphics cards, high bandwidth memory, system memory, high-speed internet capability, integrated displays, refresh rates above 300 hertz monitors. So basically like the newest generation of like the Samsung Odyssey monitors, G-Sync,
you know, FreeSync stuff, etc.
System memory, video surveillance cards, wired Ethernet or fiber cards. Pretty much most of this stuff with pre-built computers are already have allowance, and pre-built or custom-built systems are actually exempt from this as well. So 9 times out of 10, those who build computers are actually exempt from this. You don't really have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about, like, you know, California knocking on your door and saying, yes, being the secret special police or something like that. But what is required is system integrators or people who make pre-built systems
like Dell and all that, for example.
So this really isn't a concern to like major consumers or anything like that, and I think that this is a knee-jerk reaction to the general public,
as usual,
as usual and stuff like that. I mean, most of the stuff is actually dealt with behind the scenes rather than up front and stuff like that. So I mean, if you see like a notice that it can't be shipped to California, then it's probably because Dell didn't do their job, or system integrators didn't do their jobs.
The funny thing was, Gertron had sent me was talking to me about this, and he says, or what you could do is have a friend ship the computers that's banned to another friend and have that friend ship it to California.
Yeah, that's actually what Jay's 2 cents actually mentioned in the article, is basically double drop shipping or something like that.
Yeah.
Where you have a friend buy a computer in a state that isn't being regulated, then import it to California to any of the states.
See, what I'm really getting tired of is, okay, I look at it as, okay, so I'm going to just say straight up, I just personally don't believe in environmentalism. I'm sorry, I don't. The Earth is not going anywhere. That's just me. You can, that's not really up for discussion at the moment, but anyway, that's just me. And I'm really getting super tired of these needless regulations for stuff. And I think California is off its rocker. And I'm getting like, they're talking about these power efficiencies and yada yada yada, and and I'm great, and it's great, like, it's okay, I guess it's okay if if a circuit board is a little bit more efficient, has a little less capacitors, a little less hoops to jump through to deliver whatever it's supposed to do, fantastic. But like, I'm sorry, but like, if the bill is paid, like, you use as much power as you want. Like, that's just how I've always looked at computing stuff, because it's like, people have to get their work done, and I'm sorry, but energy saving things has a tendency to cut performance. And this is a lot of unnecessary junk and fluff from California's regulation department to call for these things that they want changed, these efficiencies that they want infused, all because, in my opinion, I think they're trying to push some sort of agenda, which is this environmentalism bullcrap. And that's just me. And I think that that's really irritating, that, and because it's, because it's not clearly defined, because, lawyers are great at, like, just not writing things properly in a way it's understandable. Now the general public, of course, obviously freaks out instantly. And I'm sick of it. Like, this is so unnecessary and so dumb. Like, why? Like, why is this needed?
I think what they're trying to do is that they're trying to, conserve energy rather than.
But we're not running out of energy.
Yes and no. I mean, so I'm personally, I'm partial. I'm like in between of like environmentalism and like global warming and stuff like that. I think that there is a need for being
a little bit more efficient.
A little bit more efficient, because if let's say, for example, we want to have higher and better power for our gaming computers and just general appliances and stuff like that. In order to increase the power, we also have to increase the efficiency of how that energy is being used.
Sure.
So it's a win-win situation, in my personal opinion. Like, we're trying to be conservative with our carbon footprint, but we also want to have more energy efficient computers. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. It's not that they're trying to, be the bad guy here, but science has proven that the more efficient a computer, the more powerful it is. I mean, look at the Ryzen processors. I mean,
true.
And Intel processors.
I guess RTX card is in there.
Yeah. They use a lot less energy, but are more powerful than what we had like 4 or 5 generations ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
it's kind of,
I mean, and to be fair, like I'm not really I'm not a fan of e-waste. In fact, actually, a small side note, the metals for the Olympics are actually reused iPhones and electronics.
And that's freaking amazing. I absolutely love the fact that they're recycling electronics for like metals and stuff like that.
Yeah, and because I know that e-waste is definitely like a huge issue. Like that is something that I do have a problem with personally, because I just like there is a lot of toxic metals in electronics, unfortunately, because of the way that they're produced. And I don't mind if they're, because like the thing is that if we're gonna look at alternate fuels and stuff, it's just like for example solar panels are actually not a good idea because they do not biodegrade and you can't really reuse them. Like as I understood it, like the way solar panels are constructed now, they don't last that long, and they end up like they don't really, there's something about like the way that they're made or whatever, you can't really like biodegrade, you can't really like reuse them. Wind power is completely inefficient and it kills birds in the flight. Like there's stuff like that. But the thing is also too, I think something that California needs to understand is that a great majority of people that buy pre-builts don't usually turn the computers off into sleep mode. My computer is on basically 100% of the time, because my theory is that it's better just to leave the electronics running than to keep constantly putting jolt in them every time you turn it on all the time. Like that's just my thing, and most gamers are not going to care about what the efficiency level is because most people don't put the computers into sleep states. And for some people, it causes driver issues if they put into sleep states too.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Like Windows is still notorious to be like, oh hey, I'm put to sleep. Oh, you don't want to use your webcam? Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons to this nonsense that I just kind of like. I sat there and I'm like, of course, it's California, and unfortunately, the bad part is whatever California does, the state that I'm in, they follow suit too. Yay. And so it's gonna like just really, this is just so unneeded, and just, I think this is a headache that's not necessary, but that's just me. So anyway, that was something I wanted to just kind of cover and stuff.
I mean, I'm neutral on this. I mean,
that's fine.
It is what it is.
There's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. We can only just talk about it. So, So I guess we went to the last thing. So this is something actually I don't normally like do on the Morning Metro. I'm kind of excited about this. I'm gonna pass this to Cappy because I think this is like really cool. This is a camera that I'm interested in that Short Circuit did. It's the Sony ZV-E10 mirrorless camera, and it's by Sony, and it's not released yet. And I think it's really, really cool. And from what I've seen so far, it looks like it takes really amazing photo and video. And I don't know when it's going to be released, but yeah, it's really, let's see. Let me see if I look over some stuff. I don't know really how to talk about a product, so I don't actually have it in hand. It does the usual, where's the video encoder? It does 4K, 1080p. I don't think I see 720 here, but nobody does 720. So like, I'm sure you probably could though, but it does 720. It has 422 8-bit color, which is actually really nice because that's like, it's not completely, I think broadcast is like 444 color space, but 422 is another color space and stuff. So that, I think that's like a generally like still really good one. You can use external microphones. You can use it for apparently live streaming potentially, which is something I'm waiting for EboVox to do a video about this when it comes out. And because it has an HDMI out, and if that's a clean HDMI out, I will seriously buy this camera, even though the suspected price is gonna be around like $800 or so. But I think, is this with is that with, oh,
Yeah,
so
it
with
has an HDMI out.
with the lens, it's $798 at suspected. Without it, it's like 600. There's like only like $100 difference between the two. I probably just get it with the lens, and you can get it in white, which is really cool. But yeah, it's supposed to be able to use, I guess, for vlogging and photo taking and a bunch of other stuff. So I'll be maybe I'll try to like talk about this when there's like some more reviews where I know more about it and stuff. It does JPEG and RAW, which is really cool for anybody who does photography. RAW imaging is like really good because it means you have more editing power on it, and it has 14-bit picture, or photos. Again, just the more information you can have for editing, the better. The crop factor I'm a little concerned about, though. I'm gonna have to probably like, I don't know, maybe I might have to actually have it in hand. Hopefully the crop factor is something where like it's like a pre-cropped angle. For example, like my camera I use for stream actually has a crop factor. I don't know what that is exactly, but then I had to buy a wide angle lens to give it that wider view and stuff to help compensate for it. The ISO sensitivity is really, it goes from 100 to 32,000, and then has an extended of 50 to 51 to 100 ISO. So that's really you can shoot in some pretty low, sounds like some pretty low light stuff actually, from what I can, if I'm understanding this correctly. So don't know what's gonna come out. I'm just excited about it. It looks fun. I've never really been excited over a camera, but this one just seemed pretty interesting. It's got Bluetooth and wireless, which is really nice. The memory, it has the normal SD card memory slot and stuff. What else? I'm just looking at the specs from B&H Photo here. The aperture, I guess, is good. I don't know. I'm not that well informed about aperture stuff. I know what it means.
You're a streamer, Grid.
I know, but aperture is always something that, like, I know what it means, like, as far as like it's how much the lens like opens up and stuff to allow light in it, but as to what that measurement means or how that works is something I'm not like, it's still a little bit confusing because I never actually dove into understanding it. Yeah, so anyway, it's just a little, it's very compact too. It's very, very super small. Like I don't know how to explain this in audio, but it's a very small, like little handheld type camera, but it sounds super powerful. I think it's also got a handle too. They can like zoom the camera, it's got like one of those like stick handle thingies and stuff. So, anyway, yeah, that's a thing. So it's a Sony ZV-E10 mirrorless camera. If you guys want to look it up for yourself, and maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody's birthday or Christmas is coming up, you can buy early and stuff. So yeah, that was all I wanted to cover for today and stuff. I don't know if there's anything else we want to loop back around to, or are we all good?
I can't think of anything.
My only question is, are virtual bands going to take over real bands?
I don't think they are. So one concert I'm really excited for that's coming up is Uprise Fest, and I'm so excited because all the bands that I want to see at concert are going to be there.
Very cool.
So, and I actually have tickets to see Skeleton Switchfoot in.
Ooh, what?
Physically.
I want to see Switchfoot. Dang it, you! No,
I have a free ticket.
Depends on when it is and where. We'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
But anyway, go on. But yeah, so virtual bands and all that stuff. So like, is that gonna be something we're gonna see more often that's gonna take over like human bands? Or
I don't think it's gonna take over human bands, but I think it's going to be more of a mainstay. Like it's a niche market, and they're targeting their niche market. Whereas, like, people who actually want to see people perform are going to go to the people who want to see perform. So I mean,
Well, the reason why I ask is because I know that AR and VR tech is like basically the next thing coming for technology from what I am seeing. Just you know, articles and stuff I'm coming across, and you know, Riot has done a lot of stuff with AR tech with their bands and making their virtual bands basically kind of quote unquote come to life and stuff. And I know that you were talking a little bit earlier about like Miku Kitsune being she's basically like a hologram that they like display over like the special screen or whatever to make her look like she's real and everything. And you know, I don't know, I know it's getting more popular to have that stuff, but I just didn't know. I'm thinking to myself, like, is it going to be something that will just like take over more, or I guess maybe in your case, maybe as you said, maybe more common. I don't know, but it's just something I was kind of touching on because a lot of things are going very digital and less less human of sorts, and so that's why I was kind of begging the question. You know, what do you think?
I think, in my personal opinion, I think it's going to be a very, how should I put it? Not controversial, but I think it's going to be very nice to have, because I mean, you have a lot of deceased musicians who people never got to see perform live. Like they did Tupac like a few years ago when he was a hologram.
Yeah,
and like I could see like people who want to reminisce in the past with deceased performers like Elvis.
Oh gosh, people still don't think that Elvis died. Like seriously.
yeah, but anyway, that's a whole nother
yeah, it really is. But anyway, so I don't know. I mean, there's a market for it, but I just don't think it's going to take over like the whole entire you know, market stay and stuff like that. Oh, another digital band, Gorillaz. Gorillaz is another digital band. That's one I haven't heard of.
Yeah,
interesting.
But
okay.
That's another another virtual band. I completely forgot about them. I forgot they were a thing.
Wow, yikes! That just shows how good they are. Yeah, I don't know. I just was like, I was just thinking about this, about us covering, you know, the KDA music and stuff, and I was just like, kind of still gushing over it and stuff, but I was just like, is this going to be more, and I guess the only downside is that you can't meet these people. Like, unfortunately, there's still like real voices behind them. I mean, you can meet the real voices behind them. Like, I would love to meet Soyeon. I think it'd be amazing to meet Soyeon. But you know, it's like, that's the part that I think that kind of sucks the most, and why I feel like maybe virtual bands might be not as easy to grab onto, because people know that like at the end of the day we could never touch these people or like meet them in person, which kind of sucks. I mean, we could definitely sell like they're real, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. They are not relatable. Yeah, I mean, they're not as relatable because they live like perfect lives and everything, unless you like fabricate drama or something. So, but anyway, I guess that's it. So for those of you listening to the show via audio, thank you again for listening. If you would like to send us something to talk about, you can as always email us at the Morning Metro. My brain is glitching really hard. The email is themorningmetro@gmail.com. Yes, I'm sorry, my brain just fried itself really really hard. I don't really mess that up. But yeah, or if you're in our Discord, we do have a dedicated channel where you can contribute to the show. It's what's the channel called? It's called the Morning Metro article submission. So if you want to just put it right in there for us to take a look at each week, for us to consider, to talk about the, you know, whatever you found interesting, and we might find interesting too, and we might put in the show. But otherwise, thank you again, and we'll see you guys next Friday, where we might actually have a guest. I'm actually trying to arrange for somebody that is another streamer and content creator to be on the show with us. So that'll be kind of fun. So yeah, thank you guys, and for those of you that are watching on the stream here, please stick around. We're gonna play some games and hang out and chill and stuff, maybe do an extended like TMM after dark, Kappa, after dark. So yeah, but thank you guys who are listening, and we'll see you guys next Friday. So yeah, bye.